It all ends here. Welcome to the final season of Pony. It is over. I don't believe the final season is a thing. Alright, man, I started watching this in 2014. Started making videos about my opinions and thoughts about each season. Since 2014 as well. And here we are, 2020, near the middle of the year. We've done it. It's over. Season 9, My Little Pony Adventure with Magic. The final season. And in this case, the final video of my thoughts and opinions of the show. Okay. So, what do I think of the season as a whole? Way better than a lot of the previous seasons I've seen lately. Mostly because one episode in particular has become my favorite episode ever since the 100th episode. Back in Season 5, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. This episode, I'm going to say, in my favorite episode segment, I find it better than all of Seasons 6 through 8 combined. So, okay. Let's go begin the final opinions. My final thoughts. Well, those are my final thoughts. My final thoughts. I'm going to save that for later. But, for this season in particular, my favorite episode. There is only one favorite episode. And it's not the finale. The finale is actually... I find the finale isn't as good as this episode. So... I will mention the final episode, but later, because I find it not as good as Season 3's ending. Again, we'll talk about that a bit later, but my favorite episode is Episode 4, Twilight 7. As soon as I saw the beginning credits of this, I knew this was going to be something special, because once I saw like the beginning credits, it says that the story is held by each of the main 6 respective actors. Once I saw that, I said to myself, wait a minute, this is unusual. The actors themselves are playing a huge role in actually making the story of this. And from there I saw that something good is about to happen. And holy crud, something good happened. Okay, so the idea of this episode is that Shining Armor has put out a ton of defenses onto the Camelot Castle, and it's up to Twilight and her friends to test out how good it is. So they say they want to break in for the sake of testing how good the defenses are. But the way it's structured is freaking amazing, because like it starts out with Twilight, saying to like the rest that she and Shining Armor have this huge history of one-upping each other for challenges, and Twilight's determined to be the best sister among her family, and because Shining Armor knows a lot of Twilight, he knows her plans, so he knows like the way how she thinks. So it's up to Twilight and her friends to out-strategize his counter-strategy. So, and the way it's all structured, holy crap, it's amazing. They're trying to subvert it, like a huge amount. But, and then Zephyr showed up for a moment. And then once they've realized that the alternative method isn't going to work, Twilight said, let's just do my own plan that Shining Armor's been expecting the entire time. And more or less has, but the ending to it is super cool. Like, how it ends, it's pretty cool. Because the whole point of the episode is like sibling rivalry. So you know who else has a sibling rivalry that has been established in the show for a long, long time? The Alicorn sisters. And, dude, that Godfather pose, Luna. That Godfather pose. That episode rules immediately. Like a boss. And all because Spike of all characters, thought ahead of both Twilight and Shining Armor, because, well, technically Spike is her family too, so he should deserve, a part of this little contest. So he outplays Twilight, he outplays Shining Armor, he outplays Celestia. And then there's this Spike just using Luna as like a sort of I guess it's his part of his plan. It's super cool. I do believe that this episode rules. But yeah, I was hoping that the finale would beat this episode. It did not, unfortunately. But you know what else doesn't beat this episode? My least favorite episode, the one after this one. The one after this one, episode 5, The Point of No Return. So we go from this amazing episode, right, that the actors themselves have like put a hand in, so like, to make them like the best like each character can possibly be. And the episode immediately after that is Twilight has an overdue library book. Nah, man. You can't do that. You can't just put a top-tier episode and then immediately follow up with like, a terrible episode, or at least an episode that's just not very fun. You can't just do that. It just completely underplays episode 5. It ain't a good episode. It's not. That should have been like either before episode 4, or move episode 4 to like in the middle of the season. I don't know. I think that episode 4 sets up the season way too high. Like that, even the first like couple episodes, when he set up all the villains, episode 4 sets the season way too far high. But at least the season itself is more or less really good, and it's like really good on average. So I have no problems with the season itself. It's just that this episode started way too good. I'm also going to mention episode 16, A Trivial Pursuit, because, well, I'm going to mention this later but freaking Twilight is just absolutely freaking nuts in this. I mean, granted, it's definitely in character for Twilight to want to go to a trivia game and, completely, like, makes a sort of, like, statistical metagame within there, and like, how she gonna best, which partner of hers she could best work with. I mean, Sunburst being there, automatically assumes, Sunburst is, like, the best option, right? Because it's Sunburst. But then as soon as Pinky shows up in that scene, we all know what the episode's gonna go. It's like, we all know how it works. And it worked out more or less exactly the way you'd expect. I say more or less, but I find this episode is like far too predictable. Alright, so that's it for the favorite and hated episode. My favorite and hated characters. Okay, so I feel like season 9 kind of can't bring itself to introduce new characters, because there's so many. Because the season itself is setting up for the finale. The entire season is meant to set up for the finale and nothing else. So there aren't that many background characters, any new characters to introduce that's actually worth saving up to this point. So I would have to say my favorite character in this is the one named Sans Smirk. Okay, first of all, let us get this out of the way. His name is Sans. Sans? Okay, we're done. We're done. That his name by itself is enough. But the idea behind this character is like, okay, first of all, there's a cheese sandwich episode. That in itself is my favorite. He's a favorite background pony, so a favorite like one-off pony. So, of course, episode about him is gonna be pretty good. It's not that good. It's not as good as Pinkie Pride, of course, but it is pretty good. What the heck is going on with my neighbors downstairs? Holy crud! These kids. So I have a bunch of neighbor kids, and they're really loud. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, this guy. Yeah, he helps run this factory that Cheese Sandwich set up. And he's actually kind of funny in itself, in his own right. I'm gonna say this, like, I thought that episode, because he's like a prominent character in the factory episode, and you would think that the factory episode means that Cheese is gonna be pretty depressed. I thought that this episode, like, was gonna make him, like, the cause of him being depressed, but no, it's not. He's actually kind of aight. It's just Cheese himself this isn't in his element. So here I thought that it's gonna be a terrible character, but he's not. So I ended up liking him, so it's fine. My hated character. Okay. Now, I don't have any really hated characters, and the one that actually is listed here is hated here, but it's... I wouldn't say it's justified, but it's just kind of there. So, I guess in a similar way to the Storm King from the movie, my hated character is Grogar. Should I put spoilers in this? Probably. Because if I'm going to talk about the finale, I might as well talk about spoilers, right? So the reason why Grogar is a hated character, because even though this season sets him up to be the main bad of the season, he doesn't do anything. And there's a specific reason why he doesn't do anything, and it revolves around the final episode, rather, technically the final battle. But, yeah, he's not very active. He's, like, mainly there so that the real villains can team up. So, by the real villains, I mean Cozy Glow, T-Rex, and Chrysalis. So, they're the main villains. And Grogar's there to have them combine their powers or have them work together. And he himself doesn't really do anything. And I thought that's going to be some sort of big, important battle. But it turns out that he's actually Discord in disguise. He's there purposefully putting everything in danger because he wants to make Twilight Sparkle ready to be the main ruler of Equestria by defeating her main adversaries at the same time. So he's there to set up for the final battle. That's pretty much what Grogar and Discord is. So it's not even Grogar, it's actually Discord in disguise is Grogar. So, mission, I would say accomplished, but not in the way that Discord would actually like. My favorite moment. Okay, so, as with plenty of other seasons, I do have quite a lot of favorite moments and even a few things to note. But if I had to choose one, this is an absolute bonkers moment. Actually, there's more a set of moments, but they'll contribute the same. This is super bonkers, even for this show. It's mod related. Anyway, episode 11. So when Silverstream goes missing because something related to her and Starlight, whatever. Let's see here. It's Starlight, Silverstream's brother, MudBriar, Trixie, and Sunburst. They all go find Silverstream. And at some point they involve a lot of cockatrices. So if you know anything about cockatrices and anything ever, you would know that they're like chicken things that turn you into stone when you look at them. Or when you look at them in the eye. So at some point, MudBriar gets petrified. Maud's freaking reactions. Okay, so for those who don't know Maud is 100% into rocks, right? That's her thing, right? Now, what would happen if her boyfriend turns to stone? Oh my god, Maud. Put it in.
MudBriar's been turned to stone?
I didn't think I could love him anymore. And as handsome as MudBriar is now, we should probably catch one of them to turn him back to normal.
My student is missing, we're surrounded by a flock of petrifying chicken snakes, and Maud's boyfriend was turned into a hunk of rock!
You got the hunk part right.
Maud, control your fetish! My goodness! Maud! Come on! This is a kid show! Oh my goodness, Maud's freaking petrified MudBriar fetish. It's absolutely freaking nuts. I love it. Oh my goodness. Maud is super horny for rocks. Alright, next. Okay, episode 25, the final battle. Well, not the final itself, but before that. So when Twilight's still trying to get her, get her act together because, everything rests on her hoof and she has failed, but her friends try to cheer her up, but it ain't working. But then when it starts working again, a freaking random, I didn't see this coming reference. And it's perfect, the perfect reference. Okay, so please tell me, you are like a 90s, 2000s kid when you know this reference.
What are we gonna do, Twilight? The same thing we do every time, Pinky. Try to save the world.
He made a Pinky and the Brain reference. And what's perfect is who's actually saying the lines. Pinky is Pinky, and the smart one is the Brain. It's too perfect. It is way too perfect. This is the perfect reference. Okay, I think this is like a perfect reference, but holy crud. The perfect reference. I love it. Okay, so another favorite moment I'll mention is, there's a few things to know here. This will start with episode 13. It's a very small moment. When Celestia and Luna take a vacation. At some random point when Luna's looking at some sort of painting, Celestia gets bored and starts, sleeping on top of the random pony. And then the random pony starts taking a picture. Good on you, random pony. You got bragging rights for the rest of your life. You got the ruler of question. You got Celestia literally sleeping on top of you. Bragging rights. You'd sell that photo. Anyway, episode 16. So at some point look at freaking Twilight's face. And at the 5-minute mark exactly, Twilight made this freaking face. And it's just freaking hilarious. I don't know if it's gonna be like more meme moment than the Starlight meme face. Heck, I still haven't seen any memes around the Starlight meme face. Well, mostly because I've been avoiding My Little Pony, more or less avoiding My Little Pony in fear of spoilers, and I still get spoiled. The frig. But anyway, it's pretty hilarious. Now, okay, finally, the last thing of note is episode 18. The episode where Fluttershy and Angel Bunny swap minds. Or swap bodies, whatever. So we're going to see what Angel actually acts like. And he's much more or less similar to Fluttershy. It's just there's slight different personalities. He's more like a slightly angrier Fluttershy, and slightly more ticked off Fluttershy in general. When Fluttershy, actually Angel, starts talking to Dr. Fauna, saying that something about is that Fluttershy? He's like, oh yes, I'm Fluttershy. I am Fluttershy. And then at some random point, he mentions
Fluttershy. Oh yeah, that's me. Definitely Fluttershy. 100%. See how shy I am? I talk to animals. I want to marry Discord.
Angel actually thinks that Fluttershy really wants to marry Discord. Yo, boy. And it's funny because, the ending of the future thing. And anyway, my hated moment. Okay, so I think the easiest way to tell is, what's the cringiest moment I've seen this season? But, I would say the cringiest part of this entire season, unfortunately, is related to Luna. Ugh! Well, technically it's from Celestia too, but ugh! I freaking love those two sisters. But, they have a cringe moment. So, beginning of episode 13, Twilight and her friends try to stop this giant turtle from eating everything in Applejack's farm. once they had everything just barely under control for like 1 second, Celestia and Luna show up out of nowhere. And then they decide to just, they want to take care of the problem themselves and try to teleport the turtle out.
And now a simple teleportation spell should...
Pause, Interloper! Stay back, friends. My sister and I will take care of the beast.
All the times we've actually needed their help, and they show up for this?
And then they decide, hey, let's go do some mundane tasks and do some way over the top.
It seems very dangerous.
Which is why we're here!
How am I supposed to lead a Philly Guides hike if the map makes us more lost?
Did some pony say lost? Not for long.
No biggie.
Students going hungry? Not on our watch. Let us bake, sister.
Why? That's cringe. That's not what they do. Like, I know, like, they were kind of like, they realized they haven't been doing anything for the last, like, since the show started. Like, they're barely doing anything. So now they decide to start amping up their activity. Kind of too late for that. Or too early for that, depending on, what point in time you're thinking about. And finally, episode 15. Twilight decides, hey, I'm going to check on what everyone else is doing while playing this game instead of actually starting playing. The perfect response from Spike is exactly what I would expect.
Maybe instead of focusing on Pinky, you should just focus on how you're playing.
Or I should look at how every pony else is playing.
It is literally like the best, most appropriate reaction from Spike you can get for that moment. Twilight is smart. She has this. But she chooses to not have this, really. She chooses to not have anything. Why? And finally, the final category that he put for my penis videos, my favorite song. After this season, I'm done. And this is the part we're going to talk about, the finale. So, after the final battle, which is actually episodes 24 and 25, not 26, because 26 is reserved for the epilogue of the show. A time skip happens. Everyone is all, like, growing up, and everyone is all getting old. You see a lot of different things that happened after the end. So, let's start with the big one. Twilight's now grown up to look just like Celestia, except, her main colors. Spike is freaking huge. Well, I mean huge! Huge! He even has, like, a chin, those little, like, big hero chins or whatever. See, Twilight has her own student, like, her own top student in the School of Magic, and who has, like, a friendship issue, because she's not very big into friendship. So yeah, what if that's familiar? And she basically recounts her coronation theories. Her coronation theory. I was thinking to Jolene for a good half a second. She was like recounting her coronation to the student, and how everything doesn't go well, but she has her friends anyway, so it all works out in the end. And then when they shows like the remaining main six now growing old, first thing you see is Pinkie Pie with a child with cheese. And it's so far the only pony out of the main six who has a Canon Couple. Pinky and Cheese have a kid. Holy frack. and it's super appropriate too. Yo, Pinky, you got a kid now. Now, the remaining main six doesn't have a Canon Couple. But it's highly speculated because Applejack and Rainbow Dash came together enter the scene. Everyone's assuming, I believe there's some people assuming, that they're a canon couple now. And I'm like, I mean, it's possible. I mean, the two are so alike, and they have a rivalry the last of the entire show. And yeah, and even on episode what, 16, episode 16, when Twilight was thinking about like the teams that's for the trivia thing, she specifically says, I even wrote it down if I could find it. Okay, that she's glad that Applejack and Rainbow Dash doesn't team together because in her own quotes, Team Apple Dash is basically unstoppable. And I'm like, you're goddamn right. So, I feel like, if Team Apple Dash is basically unstoppable, then it would make sense if Apple Dash is actually a canon couple. But since the episode does not canonize it, and since like even the creators saying just leave out interpretation, alright, I'm like, alright, it doesn't really matter. What does matter as a canon couple is Lyra and Bonbon. Holy crud! Like, I think I mentioned like several times, like referring to Lyra and Bonbon, and now they allow it's actually canonized that they're a canon couple. They're a canon couple. They got proposed to each other and they got a wedding image. So, heck yeah, Lyra and Bonbon. So yeah, it's a heck yeah moment. And also, Fluttershy Discord again, not known. There's nothing suggesting that they are a canon couple, but they are together. But again, it's more like together in the sense they've always been, but not in like canonized. And I'm like, fine. I have nothing to do with it. Okay, so now we gone to my favorite song, the final episode song, and the song that ends the entire series. This is the song that sends off everything. The magic of friendship grows. This is it. This is the final song. And it's a goddamn good one. Because it caps off everything. I could want to summarize the whole point of the show. And it shows like as many characters as possible on that song. So like from both their future selves and their past selves, this song like actually puts together everything, every single character, and like the whole parts of the main theme are in there, and everything just absolutely caps off and sends off everybody. And the episode ends maybe like a second after the song ends, with the book on its final page closing. The perfect end. The show started with the same book opening, and it ends with the bookend. A very literal bookend. That's the final episode. Alright. So before I end off this video, I want to say something. Something that I actually have written down. I just want to say, thank you, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. You've given me an era of thought and appreciation for a show that is bigger than it really should be. Well, isn't the Mean Machine SpongeBob bra or the coolness of regular show Adventure Time, but it does have a lasting memory. Even when I stopped watching for a long time in the middle of the show's run, twice. Until a better show gets my attention outside of the show, I'm glad to make this show my favorite TV show. My Little Pony is my favorite TV show of all time right now. All because, like, even when I'm away from the show for a long time, I still remember it. I still have head cans about it. I still have, like, what happens if I put self-inserts into it. I have this. And, yeah. I believe now's a good time to end off this little mini-series of my opinions of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. I don't think I can come back to any other My Little Pony show. If this show has a sequel series, I don't think I'm going to do this at all. Like, if at whatever point, maybe in 2022 or 23 or whatever, I don't care. That the show gets a fully realized sequel. Like, a full sequel being, like, it follows, like, follows the main character showcase in the final episode. If there's, like, a series like that, or about a side series featuring maybe some other characters like Starlight and Sunburst, and maybe they actually get together for once, I probably will not make a video like this. I know there's some sort of, like, spin-off series. I think there's a spin-off series somewhere around this. But I do not care. I'm done with the show. So, that is all for my thoughts on My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. It's been a long time. I've stopped for a long time, twice. But here we are at the end. I am done. The show is over. See you guys later for more content, even if it has nothing to do with My Little Pony. But first, I will plan to do my final thoughts of the show, but as a Tops episode. Maybe I might redo my favorite pony characters and be expanded to have my favorite episode, favorite moments, based on these videos. So keep a lookout for that, because I'm going to change the rules of Tops with this. So anyway, that is all. See you guys later.